Max,
Yeah.
does Pierce have a case on his career being better than Wade's?
He has standing to bring a case. Let's put it that way. He's a Hall of Famer, 4-time All-NBA. Not the best, or not, it doesn't rank among the forwards, the small forwards, the way Wade ranks among the shooting guards. Partly that's because it feels like in the upper echelon there are more forwards than guards when you think about it. But debatable. The point is he has standing to bring a case, and he won a championship, by the way, as an older player. And his game actually translates to this modern NBA probably a little better than Wade's does because he could shoot it better than Wade, and he had size. Now, the thing that really bothers me, though, Stephen A., is how seriously everyone's taking this. Paul Pierce really believes he's like the best player ever, which he wasn't, right? But he was a legitimately great player. All of a sudden, Paul Pierce is not allowed to say something that may make some sense. Look, when LeBron got together with Wade and Bosh, not 2, not 3, not 4, no, it was 2. It was 2. You could say that group, as incredible as they were, 4 straight finals, 2 wins in the finals, 2 championships, underachieved. And partly that was because when they got together, LeBron and Wade were 2 of the top 3 or 4 players in the world, along with Kobe and Duncan. But that's not the way it fit together. Paul Pierce has a good point. He may have fit together with LeBron, his game, because he could shoot, because he had size, better than Wade, who seemed to be some lesser version of himself when LeBron was there. Let's not forget, when Wade was in the finals against Dallas, he had the best final series since Michael Jordan was in the finals, right? But that was not the same guy when LeBron showed up. And part of that had to do with Wade's age, and part of it had to do with the way their games meshed. So when Paul Pierce says, give me all the guys Wade played with when I was still at or near my prime and I'd have at least as many championships, I think he has a real case.
Well, you would think that because you really listened to the actual question and comment. So let me remind you of what he was trying to say, because he went on Twitter and he elaborated extensively. He didn't talk about, I'm a better player, or I was a better off guard, my talent, etc. Because Paul Pierce had times in his career, he's averaged 25, 26, 25 for 3 straight years. I mean, he was doing his thing. So nobody's going to disrespect Paul Pierce and say the brother couldn't play. He's not a legitimate Hall of Famer. He's not a champion. He wasn't a closer. He wasn't the truth. Where he incriminated himself is when he said he had a better career than Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade has 3 titles. You had 1. About 7 or 8 years out of 10, Dwyane Wade was in the conversation as one of the top 5, top 10 players in the NBA. That was not Paul Pierce, not over that period of time. In terms of all level, in terms of all world, all right, you got NBA seasons, 19 for Paul, 16 for Dwyane Wade. Playoffs, 14 to 13. All-Star games, 10 to 13. MVPs, they both had 1 in the finals. All-NBA first team. Paul Pierce never made an All-NBA first team. Dwyane Wade was on it twice. All-NBA teams. Paul Pierce made it 4 times. Dwyane Wade made it 8 times. All-defensive team. Paul Pierce never made it. Dwyane Wade made it 3 times. And so when you look at that and you look at the number of championships, Dwyane Wade was a superstar. I remember Paul Pierce being a person who could flat out ball and was damn near tears because he couldn't get help because Danny Ainge was wetting the bed as an executive at that particular moment in time. Where things took off for Danny Ainge was when Kevin McHale, his buddy from their days together as teammates with the Boston Celtics, gave him a Christmas gift of Kevin Garnett, after you had acquired Ray Allen as well. So the combination of Ray Allen and KG.
But that's his point, Stephen A.
Wait a minute. Ultimately, that is what happened. But in the end, when you're talking about a career, again, if you talk about individual talent and them balling, even though most of us would take Wade, we're not going to disrespect Paul Pierce like that and act like he wasn't a champion and he couldn't ball and he couldn't close. But when you bring up the conversation of career, his career doesn't mess with Dwyane Wade.
No, that's the point. It messes with it. It just loses. Like, I agree. There's no disagreement that Wade had the superior career and was the better player, by the way. But it's not like Paul Pierce doesn't have an argument to be made. He just loses the argument. The man has standing. He's a Hall of Fame.
He loses the argument, obviously.
Hold on. He's a Hall of Fame player who's saying the point you just made was his point. he didn't have any help. He didn't play with anyone until they put the big three together, essentially at the end of his career. And what he's saying when you say 3 championships to 1 championship, he's like, give me Shaq when Shaq was still that good. Give me LeBron and Bosh when I'm still young and good, and I'd have more championships.
So we don't understand that he's saying that. We all just clueless. We can't understand English. We don't comprehend that Paul Pierce is saying that.
But
I'm just saying the point is this is what his career doesn't compare. His career doesn't compare.
Hold on. He played 19 seasons. Was a 4-time All-NBA player and won a championship when he was an old guy, and was a Finals MVP. And his game translates to this era probably better. Like if he was playing in this era, he'd probably be remembered as a better player even than he was in that era.
I'm not talking to you.
The thing that I'm reacting to more than anything is people are acting like Paul Pierce attacked the man personally. They're not acting. That's nonsense. They're not acting like he attacked Dwyane. They're not acting like that. No, what they're saying is he's flagrantly wrong. Don't turn this into something that it's not. They're not attacking Dwyane. He's not attacking Dwyane Wade personally. That's not what he's saying. Right, but I have seen responses to Paul Pierce by people
who
may have an interest in it. Gabrielle Union.
Oh.
What? Right. What? Oh, the wife came in the defense of her husband.
No, but it wasn't in defense of her husband in terms of the merits of the case, which she would win. It was like as though Paul Pierce attacked him personally, which he didn't.
So what you gonna say his son? What you gonna say next? Dwyane Wade's son attacked him too because he said my dad had a better career than you. That's an attack.
It's when you say how dare you do this? It's wrong because. And you bring up other stuff that Paul Pierce isn't talking about. If you ask Paul Pierce who's better, him or Michael Jordan, he's going to say him. He thinks he's the best.
I kind of love that about him.
Yes.
Even if it's slightly delusional, it's kind of amazing.
Yes, it is kind of amazing.